It's the middle of August and I'm still nowhere near being done with this jet ski yet. Pretty much just as I thought it was going to happen. Between getting my BMW ready for MPAC, doing some other projects and vacation, I was really pushing it, trying to get my jet ski on the water middle of August, which is now. I think it's August 15th. I was going to be a little further ahead in this project until I realized that all the studs were seized in the block. Now, for those of you that have watched part 1, you'll know that I took the engine out of the jet ski and I was looking to diagnose the failure. I pulled the block off. Yes, the garage has gotten quite a bit messier since, due to a bunch of other projects. And I got most of the studs off the exhaust side, except these couple, and I tried getting the studs off of here with the 2-nut method and none of that worked. So let's actually see what went wrong with the motor. Maybe it has something to do with the piston rings being part of the piston header in cylinder 2. That would be my guess. Other than that, the other piston's actually look in pretty decent condition. Maybe a little bit of scoring on the sides, nothing too bad. Replacing the pistons anyway, so it's not really a big deal. And doesn't look like there's any real big catastrophic failure other than those rings kind of like melting. They are, yeah, you can't even get them off the piston. Yeah, they're burnt in there and around and all that good stuff. Cylinder 1's missing the top ring, only because I took that, the ring actually came off when I took the block off. No big deal, that's getting replaced anyhow. Other than that, the rods and everything looked fine. The crank seems to be pretty good. I don't think I'm going to go too nuts with this. I'm just going to get this block bored, throw new pistons in, and basically see if it runs. So it looks like basically the failure was that cylinder 2. And like the guy said who sold it to me, that cylinder 2 basically had 0 compression whatsoever. So I'm hoping to get these studs off tonight and then just send this this block off to a machine shop and hopefully get this done, or get that all done and taken care of by the end of this week. Because I didn't have stud extractors, I went ahead and I ordered this set. I'll link it in the description in Amazon. It's a multi-piece stud extractor that saves the threads from being chowdered up. And we'll be using the 8mm specifically for this. This video is not really meant to be a tutorial or anything, but basically how these things work is there's a bunch of little rollers inside there that go and they grip onto the stud, and then, well, that's a bit far in, but you just start turning it, those rollers clamp on, and they tighten up, and the stud will come right out. That is in theory, in case, unless these things are really seized in there. I'm using my breaker bar because in my perfectly organized garage, for some reason I can't find any of my half-inch ratchets. So let's give this thing a whirl, see how it works. Perfect. And this block has been sitting in PV Blaster for like a lot of days now. And one trick you want to use when doing this type of stuff is go nice and slow, never just force it and put a lot of pressure. If it feels like it's giving you a lot of resistance, just kind of give it little taps at a time, and that way you don't run the risk of snapping the stud off in the block and getting yourself into a worse situation than you were before. So hey, it kind of almost looks like success, right? Except I still got that one that's really stuck on there. I just gave it some heating with the MAP gas torch. Hopefully I can get that one out. I think I may have screwed myself a little worse. I ultimately ended up breaking the stud there and the stud off in there. Well, even better, I broke one off in there. And that's probably not going to focus at all. But what I managed to do was drill the stud out a bit and then snap a hardened extractor off in there. So to the unlucky machine shop that gets this, hopefully they can just drill that out and then time insert that hole. The heat treating work, they did manage to get that last stud out.